And to make $96,000 in a single month at 17, you have to know how to use your time the right way, because otherwise... You see, this right here is how you know it was a good skate session. You see that line of sweat? Beautiful idea. Let's go hiking in the Yeezys. Why not? I just tried to walk into that soccer field. I'm about to slip on this loose gravel. Just tried to walk into that soccer field and it was all mushy, so not gonna go there, but look at this view. This right here is why I moved to California. All right, like, this is amazing. LA is up that way. This is just unreal right now. So beautiful. It's golden hour outside. But I wanted to jump on here real quick. I know I probably threw a couple of really random clips in the beginning. I wanted to come on here and just talk a little bit about one of the really good months that I had while I was 17 years old, a little bit about how I did it and kind of what took place behind it, as well as what I thought, because I'm definitely using the number in the title, so you guys already know what it is. I believe, I don't know the exact number, it's a little bit over 96,000. I'll have to double check, which is what you'll see in the title. But that number, when I hit that, dude, I was so pissed. And I don't want that to sound douchey or, you know, this and that, because now, you know, I've hit goals and done other stuff, but I wanted to make 100 grand in a month so bad that month, and I was so close, you know. And that was just one of the months that was a really good particular one in my age bracket of 17, you know. Now I'm 18. So what is this? What the, how do you get, are you allowed to bring a horse up here? Wait a minute. That's definitely horse poop. Comment if that's not horse poop. That definitely is horse poop. But I'm gonna go through and talk a little bit about how I did it, because there were multiple streams of income. It wasn't just one thing. I'm gonna do this is a really rocky path, but I'm gonna do my best to kind of break down exactly where it came from, what I was doing, how I did it, as well as more about how I felt, because it was more than just anger. Obviously, when you hit a month like that, it was a lot of mixed emotions, and honestly it was no emotion. Even the anger part wasn't an actual emotion. It was just me like, you know, that sucks, it could have been better, because I'm always focused on progression. So before we fully get into this, you guys, it depends on when you're watching this. If I release this Friday, hit the link down below. I'm gonna leave it as the top link in the description. A free, I haven't done this in 6 months, over 6 months, you guys, live workshop on e-commerce, which was the biggest income stream that contributed to this number that you're seeing up here somewhere in the title. So that's, if you guys want to learn exactly how I did that, I'm going to be diving in depth, explaining more about my story and just with e-commerce, how I got started, things I failed with, as well as how I do what I do down to the T. So if you guys want to claim your spot inside of there, hit the link down below. I made that free for you to reserve your spot, so make sure to do that. But with that being said, let's jump inside of here. I'm gonna hopefully, let's see if I can walk all the way down under this highway actually. Hopefully it doesn't get too loud. Hopefully my arm doesn't get tired. But I'm gonna break this down. So the different income streams: affiliate marketing, personal branding, e-commerce, software, as well as clients. And I know I have not explained the client end of things. I did recently, but it's a different business, because that was something for the new client end of things, where it's a new business that I'm working on. So back then, this is when I was 17. This was like 6-7 months ago or whatever, is when I did the specific number. So the largest majority of it was e-commerce. Now I had a really, really good month with affiliate marketing, which was really interesting to see, because I didn't really do much for it. It was just a lot of people, I guess, who I'd brought in on trials ended up going through and paying, as well as I did a push to one of my old email lists. So through ClickFunnels, which is a software I use to build any funnels you see, like, I'm sure if you hit the link down below for that live, I'm sure that's all built out through ClickFunnels. I already know I built it. So that's all through ClickFunnels. That's a software that I use to build funnels, do sales stuff, do a little bit with e-commerce through that, as well as email marketing. I'm gonna make sure there's no rattlesnakes before I try and sit down. You know what? I'm not gonna risk it, I'm gonna stand. So this particular month with affiliate marketing was really good. Personal branding did well. That's when the YouTube was starting to, like, it was already kind of taking off, I had like one of the best months ever with ad revenue, and then also in the description of my YouTube videos, I was putting an affiliate link for Shopify. So that was a very nice income stream that I guess it was like a really hot topic. It's never been as high as it was that month, but you know, that was cool to see a nice increase, and those were just minority increases. The biggest thing came from e-commerce, but here's the thing. So aside from just doing all the stuff I was doing at the time with passive Facebook, where I just literally, oh, who's a car fan? Who's a car fan? Oh my gosh, Lamborghini Murcielago, who's a car fan? So where was I? Yeah, aside from just all the stuff I was doing with Facebook with the different stores, because I had multiple stores at this time, I did Instagram influencers, which I hadn't done in like probably 2 months, just at this specific month when I hit this number. And I hadn't done it in about 2 months because I'd just been like, who cares? I'm focused on other things, trying to grow my YouTube, working on a software company, and I'll explain the client end of it in a minute. But I did Instagram influencers because I'm like, why not, dude? Like, here's what I realized, and this is what I'm not quite at it right now, but at that point, you know, I was starting to make money, and I'm like, dude, I can do more. Like, yeah, I'm working 16 hours a day, but it's how are you using that time? So that was the biggest thing for me, where I was like, how am I using my time? And to make $96,000 in a single month at 17, you have to know how to use your time the right way, because otherwise, what are you doing with it, right? That kind of separates the masses, wouldn't you say? So it was really interesting to see, and I was like, dude, let me just, you know what, Hayden, shut up, sleep less, do whatever you have to do, don't eat, don't go upstairs, just stay in your room and work. And this is when I was still living with my parents, by the way, and I don't know if they're gonna see this or whatever, but yeah, mom, dad, I made that much. I know you have absolutely no idea, but it was really interesting. So I went back, did Instagram influencers, made like an extra 15 grand that month just from a couple of Instagram shout outs, which again, this is why I was overall a little bit upset, not like a real emotion, but I was upset about what happened with that, because dude, I could have done double the amount of influencers. If I had just slept an hour less every night, I could have quadrupled. I could have done so much more, and not even just like working more hours, working more productive. That's why over the last, like specifically over the last couple of months, I've been so focused on just becoming more productive with my time. That has been such a big thing for me. Like I'm so big on that. And we got a biker coming in hot right here. We're gonna say what's up. How you doing? Hey. I love it. Where even was I? I'm losing my train of thought here, but e-commerce, so I could have done more. And over the last few months, I've become so, I don't want to say productive, but so focused on becoming more productive. So it was really interesting to see that. And you know, I wanted to progress. So I pushed really hard this month. I worked really hard, like this particular month, not this month, but I worked really hard and I hit that number. And what's funny is I never shared this. Like nobody, I think there's 2 of my friends who know that I hit this number, and now, you know, it's gonna be out. I don't really care, but at the time I was like, let me just kind of stay low key. I had stopped sharing my income. You know, I wasn't really telling anyone anything about what I was even trying to do, and that's when some people thought, you know, naturally when you start putting stuff out and then you like retract that in certain aspects, like obviously I was still talking about e-commerce and this and that, people thought I was like falling off per se, like financially, like, oh, he's done. Like, did I even have my car this time? I don't know if yeah, maybe. But you know, they're, oh, you're gonna lose your car, you're gonna have to stay living with your parents, you can't move out. And it was really funny to see, and that's kind of why I did it too. Because it was really cool to just do that and not really care. I still don't care, which is why I don't share my income right now. It's like, people can say what they want, but I'm just having fun. I'm living my best life. So I'm enjoying myself. But anyways, affiliate marketing, I know we touched on a little bit. Let me talk about the client end of things and then software. So the clients, I know you guys now know a little bit that I've been taking on clients where I do their marketing for them for their e-commerce store. That's only as of recent because I had been focusing on actually doing my own stuff. So as I started taking on those clients, that's only been the last few months, which by the way, if you have a real budget and you wanna work with that and you wanna actually get results with e-commerce, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you out. But this is a completely different business. So this is when, I don't know if you guys remembered, like literally probably 2 months after Ty Lopez launched the social media marketing agency course. I started like, I didn't really go through too much of it, but I was like, dude, I can do that. And so here's what came out of it. My grandpa's friend introduced me, which you guys, if you saw the video of me buying my car, you met him. My grandpa's good friend is a good friend of mine, Phil, shout out to you, homie. He introduced me to one of his chiropractor friends who own this chiropractor practice. I don't know how strong their finances were, but essentially he brought me in there. I got a one-on-one meeting with the actual decision maker, which if you guys do anything client-based, you know that's huge. Like there's gatekeepers. If If you're calling someone cold, it's a little bit more difficult because you're definitely most likely not talking to the person who's actually in charge of like, okay, I'm gonna write Hayden a $6,000 check to do this, this, and that. But it was that specific meeting that I completely butchered. I let it, okay, I'm not gonna go through and give you advice on this right now, but I butchered it. It was like 3 hours. It should have been 20 minutes. I was not in control. It got way off topic. So it was terrible. I did not end up closing him. I was so close and I could have a few weeks later, but I was focusing on other clients. So long story short, I've brought in multiple clients who own businesses, chiropractor, restaurant, and a doctor's office, doing those types of clients, having them outsourced to a friend's agency's outsourcing. So a middleman of a middleman to then get them results. So that was completely passive, right? I wasn't touching those clients. I'm not the one doing their Google SEO and like figuring out how to like optimize their websites. I don't even know how to do that. I don't care. I don't care to know how to do that. All I wanted to do at the time, which I guess successfully did, was make more money, which I'm assuming is where a lot of you guys are at. So it was really interesting to see. Aside from that, that's when I had first started getting a couple of software ventures going. I think one of them in that month did like 12,000 in revenue. Profit margin was probably about 80% of that. So it was really interesting to see. That was like, I would say the first full month actually of that being up. And then by doing that, you know, I made a good chunk of that and it's residual. So something like that where I haven't done too much with software, I really want to. For me, this is my personality type. I love numbers, I love looking at stuff, I love seeing results. But with software, I just get like too much of an analytical, I don't know how I feel about it. It's like too much of an analytical, like professional, smart person. Like I don't consider myself smart at all. So I know I can do it, I've done it, I have it going, but I'm more so focused on outsourcing the work and having them grow it for me, if that makes any sense. So those were just a few of the ventures that played into everything. I did flip a couple of iPhones, which was like probably $400, but you know, profit, but just made a little bit of money through that, a little bit through this, a lot through this, a lot through that. So there's a lot of different things that led up to hitting this number. But you know what happened out of all of that? Here's what I learned. Money, there's two different ways you can think about it. Technically three, okay? There's the worst way, which I hope you're not in this mindset. Scarcity, meaning save, save, save. Like you're not gonna get rich, you're not gonna live your lifestyle by saving money. Like right now, I don't worry about saving money at all. Why would I wanna worry about, oh man, you spent $200 on lunch, you should have spent $50. Well, that's worried about reducing what you're spending. Why don't you instead focus that energy on then figuring out how to produce more? So it doesn't matter. So you can go enjoy that and not have to worry about it. That's just my mindset. So there's scarcity, which means you're in a scarce mindset about it. There's not enough money, save, 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 clip coupons, so and save leftovers. So stuff like that. Then there's the mindset of being financially stable. Okay, this is where you're comfortable. Like you're working a job, you're making 10 grand a month, you're doing all right. Okay, and then there's financial abundance. This is where I switched. If you want to talk about a turning point, this is where I switched from stability into abundance. And where I'm like, dude, if I can do this, I can do anything, and I can, and I will. So it's gonna be very interesting to see, like, you know, just over the next 5 years, the progression of that. But by being able to do that, it fully helped me switch into that mindset. And dude, I was upset. I literally was upset that I didn't hit 100K, because it's just, you know, if I had hit 100, I'm like, could have hit 120, could have hit 150. I've never been satisfied with my income ever. And that's a good thing. Like I genuinely get upset, not emotionally upset, but like kind of just like on paper in my head or like vocally, I'm just shit. Like, you know, that's just me. I kind of get upset about it, then I go back to figuring out how to increase it. So that's a good thing. If you're satisfied, that means you get comfortable, which means you plateau, which is what happens to so many people. So I'm very grateful that my natural reaction is to progress and, you know, focus on what I can actually do, because I want to fulfill my potential. So I hope you guys do as well, whatever you want to do. So with that being said, there's a lot of different stuff that led into it. E-commerce was the primary. And if you guys have not figured out how to do that, looked into that, I know there's a lot of people who are trying to do it. I know that because now that I have the client end of the business going, where I'm now doing it for other people, I've had a couple of higher level people. I know I think I mentioned this on an Instagram live. Two of the people essentially that I now run their stores for, they own Gulfstreams. Right here. Do you know what this is? That is a Gulfstream, okay? That is an airplane. Like, these people are rich and they do real estate, they do this and that. They own massive companies and they have a lot of money, but they realize that e-commerce is like, they watched Amazon essentially. That's what one of them told me. He's like, dude, I saw Bezos come up and this dude's worked for his money for 30 years, built this company. Bam, Bezos comes up in 20 years and becomes the richest man ever. Like, they know e-commerce. People know that e-commerce is the wave and they want to be a part of it. They just don't know how. So I know that it's becoming more of a a talked about subject. You know, it's been in the news recently, drop shipping with AliExpress and Shopify and this and that. But if you're not capitalizing on that wave, you are missing out. So that's exactly why after 6 months, which was the last time I did this, I decided to do another live workshop. The first time I did it 6 months ago, it had a couple of flaws. If you guys were on there, you remember it filled up in like 5 minutes, which was kind of my mistake for not giving people a chance to reserve their spot. So a lot of people were upset, but I am gonna be doing another one. So it's right now, just hit the link down below, reserve your spot in there for free, and I will see you guys on there. But other than that, let's take a moment here. Look at this. Let me let it focus in here and see all the colors. It's like different color layers right there. It's like an orangish, then a yellow, then a gray. So beautiful. Wow, PCH is right down that way. I'm up in Newport Coast, by the way, for those of you who don't know. I've been looking at properties for the last week, so gonna be some fun content coming your way, to say the least. But other than that, you guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know what you think about it, as well as if you relate to anything I just said, especially about that money mindset. I wish I should have talked about that for another minute or two, but the way that you perceive your finances, the money that, even if it's not yours, just see money, because you know, I started seeing this when I didn't have any. That's how you get it. So you gotta perceive it the right way. Don't be scarce. You're probably gonna be somewhat comfortable until you hit something that sparks you into abundance. So focus on that, focus on abundance. You guys can have whatever you want. You just have to create it and put in the work. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop a like down below. And as always, join the family, join the gang, but hit that nice looking subscribe button, and I will be seeing you guys tomorrow in the next video. Peace. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna make a full video probably, or at least a good chunk of one, talking about irrelevant questions, because I used to ask a lot of the people that I was learning from, you know, certain questions that just now looking back were dumb. And the problem is with that, and this is why I'm ending it off with this, a lot of people ask the wrong question, and it can actually hurt you, because not because you're curious, which is great, ask a question if you're curious, but you can find most of the answers on your own. Whether that's just Google or on social media, reading a book, buying a course, or going through talking to someone, like whatever it is, you can't just ask little, what's called actually low-level questions. You know, unfortunately, like your teachers told you, there actually is such thing as a dumb question. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all, but the way it can really affect you negatively, and I know because this happened to me, is it will actually destroy or at least diminish some relationships that you have with at least people who are above you. I don't want to say higher level people, because you might not have those people in your life yet, but you just have to be careful about the questions you ask, because to a degree, you only have a certain amount of questions to ask to someone, you know, before they start getting fed up or before you've taken too much. So make sure, first of all, that you're obviously giving value in return with whoever you're learning from, but a lot of people don't follow that process. It's usually I just dropped my car key. It's usually a 3-step process where you compliment, you give, and then you ask, okay? You ask for something. That's where you gotta give someone something, you gotta build that relationship, build the rapport, help them out with something, and then you can get something in return. Most people just jump to the third one, which that's kind of the problem. So let that sink in for the next minute or so, but I hope that helped. Hard to complain. I know it looks really light, but it's actually extremely dark out. This camera just does a great job, but listen to the waves.